I was in a very large house. It's very much like a mansion, actually. And it was a huge gathering of people, gathering of witches, actually, but not just ordinary witches. These were it was a group of people, a very large group of people, mostly female, that maybe entirely female. I'm trying to think of one guy that I saw there. I think, yeah, there were a couple of occasions where I was around some males, but it was definitely predominantly female. And definitely it was a big retreat taking place in this huge mansion. It was really a beautiful place. Anyway, I don't know why I was part of this retreat, other than that I had been invited there by this woman that I kind of knew. She was one of those things where I say kind of because I'm not totally sure who she was. She reminded me very much of a spirit friend that I've had for many, many, many years. And I'm not going to say her name. Maybe that time will come. And when it comes to Victoria, I can talk about her, and I've talked about her, I've made videos about her. I consider her my main spirit companion, and by main, I just mean she just functions in so many ways. She's a friend, a great friend, perhaps my best friend in that realm. She's a lover, she's my muse, she's a guide, and so much more. This particular spirit friend is also very special in her own way. If that's who this is, I'm not sure if this is who she was. She reminded me of her, but I'm not sure that it was actually her. She looked a lot like her, though. Usually I know. It's like, okay, yeah, hello, so it's good to see you. It's been a long time, that kind of thing. But this girl definitely reminded me of her. She was very pretty, long dark hair, and she was dressed all in black. She was very, very sexy, as this particular spirit friend is. I should say that I don't think I've made this clear in other videos I've made about spirit companions, out-of-body experiences. I've made videos about Victoria, again, who I consider to be my main spirit companion. And that's why I've made videos about her. But if the truth were told, and I'm about to tell it, there are so many spirits that I have experienced, and quite a few that actually play a very big part of my life and are dear friends to me. They're not romantic interests, but they're very, very dear friends, and I love them in virtue of who they are and what they've been to me. And who this girl reminded me of, she's very much been like that. The spirit that this girl in this experience reminded me of. I know sounds confusing. So the girl in this experience reminded me of this very special spirit friend that I've had for years, just about as long as I've known Victoria. And she, like I said, she invited me to this retreat. That's why I was there. And all of them, like I said, were part of this belief system, basically, this spiritual practices. I didn't know any of them except for this particular girl. And again, I didn't get her name, and I'm tempted to call her by the name of the spirit that I know that she reminded me of, but I'm not going to do that because I'm not sure that it was actually her, even though she really reminded me of her. She also had these really pretty long nails that were painted dark red. Very sexy. Anyway, I don't want to get lost in my thoughts. Anyway, like I said, I didn't know anybody else there. She was the only one that I knew. And she asked me to attend this retreat because she thought it would be good for me. And also because she was interested in talking to me about my experiences that I've had with other spirits. I mean, whoever this girl was, she was definitely a spirit of some sort. I do know that. And all of them were. So that's what, see, I knew that in the experience. That's what leads me to think that this was definitely an out-of-body experience. Even though in lucid dreams you can encounter spirits as well, so that needs to be noted. Anyway, she said that there was knowledge there that I had, that she had invited me there because she wanted to talk to me about these experiences that I'd had, and she wanted me to bring all of my recordings that I had made over the years of different interactions I've had with spirits, going all the way back to when I was a child. And basically she said, you know, it would be a safe place for you to be and for us to be together, and we can both talk about our experiences together, basically. All I know is I was in this house, this very big house with a huge gathering, good vibe. There was nothing that would have led me to think that there's any kind of problem. Unfortunately, it stayed that way throughout. I remember at one point I was sitting in a particular area with this particular girl that had invited me to this retreat. And we were talking about some of my experiences that I'd had with other spirits, and she said she was really interested in hearing more about a particular spirit that I was involved with in New York City, a particular spirit woman. I haven't, maybe I've made a video about her, but I might have deleted it because this was, unfortunately, it had some negative effects. When I went to New York, when I was in New York City, I began having some encounters, and much of it was brought about by my promptings. It should be kept in mind, though, I hadn't heard from many of my usual spirit acquaintances, and I wasn't sure what was going on. And I thought, especially before going to New York City, surely I should be hearing from some of them, but I don't recall hearing from any of them, and so I began developing a kind of friendship with this particular spirit in New York City. And I'm not going to say her name. In fact, I hesitate even to talk about her. So the only time I'm only mentioning her because she's part of this particular experience. I mean, it wasn't a bad experience with her necessarily as far as face-to-face encounters with her. I probably shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have been involved with her, basically is what I'm trying to say. But I was in New York City, it was a new place, and she was familiar with the area and knew it well. She grew up there in Greenwich Village, and so we began to have encounters together, and unfortunately, though, it had really negative effects with respect to spirit friendships and companions that I've had for years, way before I ever had these experiences in New York City. And so I eventually began thinking, you know, it's not worth it. I don't know really who this woman is from New York City. She seems okay. She seems very cool, and we got along well. But I mean, okay, I don't really know her though, and I've known I've had all of these other friends for so many years, and they mean so much to me, and I'm not going to jeopardize that. It's definitely not worth the risk. And so I just basically walked away. And so that's basically all I'm going to say about that experience with this New York City spirit for now. But anyway, the girl in this experience, I hate to keep calling her the girl in this experience, the woman in this experience, but like I said, I didn't really remember getting her name, and I don't want to mention the name of the spirit that she reminds me of right now anyway. So, and I was actually wondering, I was thinking, why do you want me to talk about her? I didn't ask her that, but I was thinking it, and the fact that I was thinking it, she might have known what I was thinking. That's the way it works sometimes in that level of existence. But anyway, I said, and I was starting to feel really, really, really tired and just losing energy, which made me think maybe I was about to return to my body, which is another thing that makes me think this was an out-of-body experience. And so I told her, I said, look, I said I'm feeling really, really sleepy and drowsy. I said, I think I might start to drift off here. And I said, in fact, that what you want to know about with respect to that particular spirit, if you go to this part of the file in my spirit journal, you can hear about it. I have several recordings actually about her. And she said, okay, I'll do that. And she said, it's okay, go ahead and rest. Before I knew it, I was out. And then I woke up in a different area. I was still in the house. I wasn't sure at first that I was still in the house. I actually thought that I might have gone to a different level of existence. But I found out, I looked around and I was kind of freaking out actually, because I was no longer in the area that I was. But then I looked and I saw the girl sitting near the bed that I was laying on. And she was with me, and so fortunately that let me know, okay, yeah, I guess I'm still in the house, even though in a different area. And I was kind of, out of breath. I kind of bolted upright, and then I looked at her, and she said, she was very concerned. She said, are you okay? She said, are you all right? And I said, well, I'm disoriented. I said, I'm not where I was before. Why am I here now? I'm not in the area where I was before. And she said, it's okay. She said, it's all right. You fell asleep, and you were in such a deep, deep sleep, we couldn't wake you up, and so we brought you in here. She said, it's okay. This is where you can sleep and rest comfortably. And I said, okay, but I was still like really ridden with anxiety. And she kind of leaned forward and she said, what happened? She said, something happened, didn't it? She said, did you see somebody? Did you have an experience? And I said, no, not that I can remember. I woke up and I was in a different spot, a different area in the house, and it just kind of freaked me out. And she got up very slowly, and I loved how she did this. It was very reassuring. And I really shouldn't have been so freaked out. Something must have happened. I don't know. Maybe I did go to a different level, and I don't remember it. And that's why she asked me that. She must have had a good reason for asking me, did you see somebody? Because maybe I did. And then came back to that level where I was in that house. But anyway, she got up, and she laid next to me on the bed, and she put her arm around me and started basically consoling me and rubbing me and telling me, she said, it's okay. She said, you don't need to be afraid here, which helped. And so I just, I was just sitting there with her next to me now, and I kind of turned and I was looking at her and just thinking how much she reminds me of that particular spirit friend that I've had for so long, and wondering if it is her and she's just not letting me know. Just letting me think, oh, I'm just somebody that looks like her, but I'm not really her. I've actually had experiences with her where she's done just that. So maybe this is one of those, I don't know. But anyway, whoever this girl was, she got up with me on the bed, and she was kind of caressing me and rubbing me and just, doing what she could to make me feel at home there, which I really appreciated. And I just kind of, because I admittedly was really enjoying that, and I just kind of laid my head back and started to feel really, really sleepy again, and drifted off, and then woke up right here in my usual state of consciousness.